Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice, where I feel like we have a pretty good grasp on who did it, which is the only thing that makes me think this isn't going to go another day. I feel like we're headed towards final showdown time, but there's just so much that's still kind of up in the air and hasn't been discovered. Anyway, back in the defendant lobby. Now I'll have to face Pierce on the stand. I'm not sure if I should be surprised or not. One thing's for sure, he won't be an easy adversary. So you think Pierce did it? It's too early to say anything at this point, but I do think he's still hiding something. Yep. Nick, why didn't you pin everything on Soren Loser back there? Soren Loser would have been a good pun. Looks like Larry still hasn't given up on Ellen. If this Pierce guy is the real bad guy, then Soren and my Ellie will live happily ever after together. Anything but that. Larry, that's not the kind of thing a decent human being says. Shame on you, Larry. Oh, boo-hoo. You think I don't know? I know I have to give up on my Ellie. But Nick, promise you'll make her happy. She deserves a happily ever after. That's what I'm trying to do, and you just yelled at me for it. I'm sure Soren will make her happy once all of this is said and done. The trial is about to resume, Mr. Wright. Alright, you ready, Maya? Yep, let's go! I'll be rooting for you, Nick. Have we been in courtroom number 6 before? I feel like it's always courtroom number 3. Court is now back in session. Witness, please take the stand. I mean, I kind of want to see him have a freak out. Please state your name and occupation. My name is Pierce Nickety. I'm the Sprocket family butler. Let's get straight to the point, Mr. Nickety. Someone tore out a page from Mr. Sprocket's notebook to manipulate his memories. And that person was you, wasn't it? That is correct. What about it? Well, that was easy. No, he's had time to kind of work this out. So why did you do it? Why did you tamper with Mr. Sprocket's notebook? Please allow me to explain. It pains me to do this, but I will tell you the truth. It pains you? Well, I mean, he's gonna blame it on Soren. He'd be like, well, I'm the butler. I can't turn down my employer. That is correct. For my testimony, we'll go against Master Soren's wishes. Soren's wishes? What is he talking about? Why I tore out the page, okay. I rushed to the Vista deck, but the crime had already been committed. I saw Miss Ellen and Gloomsbury collapsed and Master Soren writing in his notebook. That's weird. Master Soren said to me, I'll take the blame for the murder, so please take care of Ellen. But I went against his order. I tore the page out of his notebook and hid the body. Wait a second. When Mr. Sprocket was writing in his notebook at the time, could it be... It was meant to be a confession, an admission he'd killed Gloomsbury himself. He wrote that message to take the blame for Miss Wyatt. That is correct. Master Soren did hit Gloomsbury with the timekeeper to save Miss Ellen. Then Mr. Sprocket was the culprit after all. However, that blow did not kill Gloomsbury.
That makes sense. Mr. Sprocket's injury wouldn't allow him to put much force into it.
Enraged, Gloomsbury tried to attack Master Soren, who was already seriously wounded, but just in the nick of time, Miss Ellen hit Gloomsbury from behind and finished him off, it would seem.
So the one who inflicted the fatal blow was the defendant?
Yes, that is correct. But Master Soren tried to take all of the blame onto himself. No way! This is pretty bad, Nick. No kidding, pretty bad is an understatement.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems your decision to call for Mr. Nickety has backfired. For the true culprit behind this case remains the defendant, Ellen Wyatt.
Could this get any worse? Sure, we could bring Larry back up. Please tell me we bring Larry back up. But Pierce was involved in the cover-up plot, and I bet he still has something to hide. Alright, we'll just press and see where that gets us. Wait a minute. I thought you went to the Vista deck with Mr. Sprocket. Actually, that is not true. What? What do you mean? I found this out afterward, but Master Soren went to the Vista deck alone. He went out the escape hatch in the reception hall and went along the outside wall. What?
You can't be serious. You mean Mr. Wright's addle-pated guess was actually correct?
Just go ahead and save that. What's with the addle-pated? I suppose the truth really is stranger than fiction. So, Mr. Nickety, when you got to the scene, you saw Mr. Gloomsbury, Miss Wyatt, and Mr. Sprocket. Is that right? That is exactly right.
Hold it!
So when you and your group arrived at the Vista deck, the murder had already been committed? That is correct. Gloomsbury had already been struck. Miss Ellen had lost consciousness, probably from the shock of the incident. And how did Mr. Sprocket appear? He was bleeding from the stab wound he'd received from Gloomsbury. Barely conscious, he was writing something in his notebook. So the mysterious third person Ellen saw really was Soren then. Was it though? Me, I'll take the blame for the murder, so please take care of Ellen.
Hold it!
So Mr. Sprocket wrote a note of confession in order to take the blame for Miss Wyatt? Yes. That notebook is the only form of memory Master Soren has, so you understand what his action meant, I trust. But what did it mean, Nick? To Soren, everything in that notebook is true. So Soren tried to take the blame by altering his own memory to make himself think he did it. No. Mr. Soren truly loves Miss Ellen. It must have been love that made him do that. Against his order, I tore the page out of his notebook and hid the body. Something about that is wrong. Mr. Nickety, could you please tell this court about that in more detail? That, you say? Which part do you mean, Mr. Wright? Could you be more specific? Oh, alright. What part do I want to know more about? Hiding the body or tearing out the page? I mean, he's already kind of given us a motive for tearing out the page. Tell me more about hiding the body. Please tell me more about the hiding of the body. Very well. After saying he would take the blame, Master Soren passed out. That's when I hid the body. I quickly took the lift down to the hold, where I hid Gloomsbury's still warm body. Oop, oh, wait, hold up. In the spare peggable lantern. Okay. It doesn't hold up, actually. So it was you who hid the body, not the defendant. To think Mr. Butts would move the lantern containing the body to the reception hall. Well, I did not see that coming. I don't blame you. Not even Larry can predict what Larry will do next. Maybe I should take another look at the lantern evidence. Mr. Wright, would you like that statement added to the witness's testimony? Add testimony. Yes, please. Very well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Nickety. Hold, I hid the still warm body in the spare peggable lantern. It wanted me to look at... Oh! So somebody grabbed the inside of it. Which I feel like allows us to make an argument that he wasn't dead. I don't think that ends up holding up. Oh, should I present? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Could it be? Is that what happened? If what I'm thinking is true, then maybe I can prove neither Alan nor Soren did the deed. Mr. Nickety, you said the body was still warm when you hit it, correct? So then what if Mr. Gloomsbury was still alive when you went to put his body inside the lantern? What? What? Judges very easily surprised this trial.
That's preposterous.
Nope, I can prove it. Actually, this shows that the victim might have still been alive while inside the lantern. I'm afraid you'll have to point out which part you're talking about, Mr. Wright. This part here shows that the victim might have still been alive inside the lantern.
Take that!
Yeah, as you can see, the back end of the lantern is a door, and there's blood here on the wheel handle.
Objection.
Just wait.
That bloodstain must have gotten there when the witness put the body inside the lantern. It in no way shows that the victim drew his last breath while he was within the lantern.
Nope. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth, for you see, in putting this lantern back together, the police inadvertently placed the inside handle on the outside and vice versa. In other words, the wheel handles got swapped. Oh my, so they got swapped. Yes, they got swapped. Anyone else want to point that out?
What? But that's ridiculous.
Nope. Not at all. If you compare the other male peggable lantern in the reception hall. It's quite obvious the wheel handles were attached backwards. Ooh, Edgeworth is not going to be happy about that.
The detective in charge of the restoration will see me in my office later.
Sorry, Emma, and good luck. Just talk to Gumshoe. In that case, what does the bloodstain on the wheel handle mean? The bloodstain didn't get there by chance. When the victim was put inside the lantern, he was only unconscious, not dead. When he regained consciousness, he probably tried to get out of the lantern, so he grasped the inner wheel handle, and that's when the blood got on it. This proves that the victim was still alive when he was inside the lantern. Doesn't seem very bothered by that. At the time, I was completely convinced Mr. Gloomsbury was dead. Had I checked more carefully, he might have survived.
Unfortunate to be sure, but not significant enough to change this trial's outcome.
Again, I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. It actually has a very significant impact on this case.
The victim was struck by the defendant, then died from his injuries sometime later. There's nothing more to it.
That's where you're wrong. Let's take another look at Mr. Gloomsbury's autopsy report, shall we? Cerebral hemorrhage from a strong blow to the head. One contusion was found on the back of the head and one on the side. The blows were caused by the same weapon. Ooh, that's interesting. It says one contusion was found on the back of the head and one on the side.
Yes, the one Mr. Sprocket gave him and the one Miss Wyatt delivered to finish him off.
No, the defense would like to submit a different interpretation. A different interpretation? The victim was knocked unconscious by the first blow and was then put into the lantern. Then what about the lethal blow by the defendant that the witness talked about? Yes, well that didn't happen. After some time, when the victim regained consciousness and tried to get out of the lantern, that's when he received the second blow that finished him off. Taking into account the fact that the victim was alive for a period after the first hit, and that he did receive a second blow to the head, it does seem entirely possible. Yes, as long as the first blow didn't kill the victim instantly, then there's a possibility that someone other than Mr. Sprocket or Miss Wyatt delivered the fatal blow.
That's all you've got. Even if there was a time lag between the two blows, the prosecution's position doesn't change.
What? What do you mean?
It's elementary, Mr. Wright. After the reception, when the defendant was cleaning up the reception hall...
Oh, shoot.
The victim, who was supposed to be dead, suddenly came out of the lantern. The defendant grabbed the murder weapon, which was right there, and finished him off.
Well, but then we could go back to self-defense. That theory sounds awfully familiar.
Of course it does, Your Honor, because it's exactly what I proposed at the very start.
Except you argued it couldn't be self-defense because there were two blows.
The second blow was inflicted by the defendant after all. I see. It seems the tangle of mysteries is unraveled into a single thread.
Action!
But as long as there's a possibility that the fatal blow is delivered by a third person, then we must continue the deliberations.
Give it up, Mr. Wright, unless you have something to prove the presence of your precious third person.
Okay, Nick, just relax. You can do this. Come on now, take some deep breaths. Good idea, deep breaths, deep breaths. There, don't you feel better already? Maya's right, I should calm down, get my focus back, and go over everything again. And then, hopefully, I'll be able to find something to prove there was a third person. Let's see, first, why did Gloomsbury attack Ellen? Because he was tired of taking the blame for the accident? But something about that line of reasoning just doesn't feel quite right to me. Now, how come? Well, if it's just a personal vendetta, he had already stabbed Soren, so why then was he so determined to go after Ellen? You're right, this whole thing feels too premeditated for a crime of passion. What's that? Grab Ellen when convenient, then send her off from the Vista deck. But Gloomsbury didn't seem to have a personal grudge against Ellen. If Gloomsbury didn't have a personal reason to attack Ellen, then...
You've taken long enough, Mr. Wright. Now it's time for some action. What proof do you have that a third person was involved?
Alright, I'll show you. Not completely sure of what I'm doing yet, but it looks like I'm out of time. This piece of evidence proves the involvement of a third person. Was the thing they just showed? Grab Ellen when convenient, then send her off from the Vista. Yeah, I mean... Because obviously Gloomsbury wouldn't have written it by a right-handed person. Shoot, I forgot who's left-handed in all this. Wasn't Soren?
Take that!
I get it now. Now I see why this note bothered me so much when I first saw it. Looks like a note outlining the murder plot. The note was apparently written by the victim. Why do you feel the need to write instructions to himself like this? Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, ooh. Your Honor, please take a look at this note. Wait, didn't we decide the victim was left-handed? Dude. Where's him all stabbed? Okay. Does this happen to say? Servants called him Mr. Doom and Gloom. Dang. Okay, we'll get there.
This is the victim's murder plan, right?
It's definitely a murder plan, but what if Mr. Gloomsbury didn't write this note himself?
What? This is how you intend to conjure up your mysterious third party, Mr. Wright. Can you prove that note wasn't written by the victim?
Yes, I can.
Very well then, please present your evidence, Mr. Wright.
Oh, crap. This evidence proves the victim didn't write the note. Oh, crap. Ooh. I mean, the photo almost proves that he did. Oh, crap. Don't need that. Photo of the hold. Proves Gloomsbury. Oh, didn't. Cerebral hemorrhage. The blows are caused by the same weapon. That's all I got to work with. Okay. Ooh. Is this it? 'Cause it says has fingerprints from Gloomsbury's dominant left. Ah, there we go. So do I present? Oh, that's gonna get shot down though, because he has the wound in his left hand. Ah! All right. This is the weapon Mr. Gloomsbury used to stab Mr. Sprocket.
I was wondering what you'd pulled out this time. Dare I ask what that could possibly have to do with the note?
Mr. Gloomsbury's prints were found on this candelabra, and the prints were from his left hand.
So that makes the victim left-handed, correct?
Exactly, Your Honor. The police looked into it too and confirmed as much. Now take a look at the smudged writing in this note. Notice how the smudging only starts from the middle of each preceding line? Had this been written by a lefty, the writing would be smudged from the far left end. This means that whoever wrote this note was definitely right-handed. In other words, somebody other than the victim wrote this note.
What? But if someone other than Mr. Gloomsbury wrote it, then what does this note mean?
Mr. Gloomsbury filed this note to the letter when he attacked Miss Wyatt. So clearly this note isn't a murder plan written by Mr. Gloomsbury, but rather, these are instructions to kill Miss Wyatt issued by somebody else.
If it wasn't the victim who wrote these so-called instructions, then who wrote it? Most of the people involved are right-handed, you know.
He is correct. The majority of the family and their employees who were on the airship are indeed right-handed. I must say that is a very rough and slipshod conjecture you've proposed. Not really. I admit I haven't figured out who wrote it just yet. Leave it to Mr. Edgeworth to go for the jugular. This culprit who ordered Gloomsbury to attack Ellen, what could their motive have been? It doesn't seem very likely Ellen did anything to incur anybody's wrath, right? Right. Not too likely, anyway. In that case, it has to be about Soren. If somebody were to hold a grudge against Soren, what would it be about? Oh. Because we found out that Soren was the one who was driving. That accident I'd get, yeah, I could understand if Gloomsbury felt resentful about having to take the blame. But the one who lost the most at that accident was Soren's sister. She lost her life after all. Soren suffered too, of course. He was crushed by losing somebody so precious to him. Somebody precious, huh? Soren's sister. Wait, there's one more person. There's someone else who must hold a grudge against Soren. Did you figure something out? I think so. I think that somebody else used Gloomsbury to try and get revenge against Soren.
Did you say somebody tried to get revenge against Mr. Sprocket, Mr. Wright?
The person who manipulated and used Mr. Gloomsbury was Selina's fiance. Oh. Oh. Wait. No, okay. Well. Okay, right. So my immediate thought is, unless we're going to go back out for another day of this, the only character we've met who makes any sense is Persnickety. But so I'm like, okay, so he showed up a year ago or so and was like highly regarded. Oh, was he blackmailing the family? So I'm like, how would he get a job with them and be like so highly regarded, but he would have enough information to blackmail them as well? The person who used Mr. Gloomsbury to try to get revenge on Mr. Sprocket and then finished Mr. Gloomsbury off to silence him was a man dear to Mr. Sprocket's older sister, Selina Sprocket's fiancé. Not that I'm positive, but it's certainly possible. This fiancé could have made Gloomsbury attack Ellen to get his revenge on Soren. That makes sense. What?
Her fiancé?
We're gonna have to... Oh, all the family's business is gonna get aired out right here.
Order in the court, order, I say. Yes, it does seem quite believable that Miss Selina Sprocket's fiancé would bear a grudge against Mr. Sprocket for his role in the accident.
Exactly, Your Honor. Maybe her fiancé was trying to murder Miss Wyatt in order to make Mr. Sprocket experience the same pain he felt. That makes way more sense.
Miss Sprocket's fiancé was a surgeon, if memory serves, but the only people who attended the reception were family and staff members.
That may be, but then that just means Miss Sprocket's fiancé must have been among those who attended. What? Really? Of course. Otherwise, how could he have killed Gloomsbury? Oh, I see what you're doing. This is just another giant bluff, isn't it?
Alright, I'll bite. Who exactly do you claim this fiancé to be? Yes, I would like to know as well.
Oh. Are you sure you're gonna be okay, Nick? Maybe? When it comes to suspicious people, there's only one person on my list. I need to find something that connects him to Selena. Crap. What do we have? This will help us identify Miss Sprocket's fiance. Come again. Ellen's pendant. Ellen's statement. Flying chapel pamphlet. Haitian Majestic. Pegamoo. Mascots will light up. Okay, I don't think that's it. Of the timekeeper's clock. Secret mechanism. Go to the victim? Huh. Found collapsed inside. One of the peggable lanterns. Scattered around his body were flower petals, a note, and broken parts of the lantern. Petals were from flowers not found inside the reception hall. Okay. Alright, looking around at this. Looks like it was taken in some kind of office. I mean, this would be... I'm like, is there something in this photo? Well, I'm looking at the watch. Ah! I picked a dumb time to like start a new recording because I've like have convinced myself that Persnickety has that watch, but I don't remember. Oh, and I can't go to profiles. No. Oh, that sucks. I'm like, I've convinced myself that he has. Oh wait. A vehicular accident on March 8th led to the death of Soren's older sister. Soren was also in the car and suffered severe injuries. It's publicly announced that the driver had been Gloomsbury, but in fact, Soren was the one behind the wheel. Alright, that doesn't, I think, help. I want to look at that more. Oh, wait. Dang. I was kind of hoping that I was going to find Ellen's pendant in that photo, or something, I don't know. Alright, how much of this is my brain just like creating something out of nothing? Right, but he has that, right? That's what he's been looking at.
Take that!
Please take a look at this photo, Your Honor. That photo. Yeah, I think I see it. Notice Miss Sprocket's pocket watch. Yes, okay. I don't know why. I was like, I swear I've seen him fiddling with that, but I couldn't remember exactly. Haven't we seen it somewhere before? Ooh.
Yes, now that you mentioned it, I do feel as if I've seen it somewhere before.
Yeah, I'm with the judge for once. I believe we've all seen it. Right here in this very courtroom. Impossible. That's right. The pocket watch in this photo. There it is. Yes. Okay. It's the same pocket watch Mr. Nickety has on him right now. Dang.
What?
This is clear proof of a strong connection between Pierce Nickety and Selena Sprocket. Man, if you didn't notice that during the investigation or like took a break, I don't know how you'd ever figure that out. There's nothing else. Is there even like, if I'd gone to the profile, you can't even see it. Oh, he seems unusually attached to the pocket watch she carries around. Ooh. Dang, so I could have picked up on that like way sooner too.
No. Well, Mr. Nickety, is this true?
Mr. Nickety, you were once engaged to Selena Sprocket. That pocket watch, you keep it as a memento of her, don't you? Mr. Nickety, you plan to rob Mr. Sprocket of his loved one to make him feel the same pain as you. Isn't that right? But Mr. Sprocket managed to fight back and knocked Mr. Gloomsbury unconscious. You thought Mr. Gloomsbury was dead and hid his body in the lantern. But then you noticed Mr. Gloomsbury regained consciousness. And so you finished him off to prevent your plan from being exposed. This is the defense's take on what really happened in this murder case.
Mr. Wright, does this mean you wish to officially accuse this witness of the murder of Miss Gloomsbury?
Does the defense accuse Mr. Nickety of the murder? Yeah. The defense indicts Pierce Nickety on the charge of murdering Miss Gloomsbury.
Oh my, Mr. Nickety, would you care to respond?
I feel like we've been doing all the talking. Man, this lawyer just yaps on and on and on. As you guessed, this watch is a memento of Selena. It stopped working at the time of the accident, though. Then you really are... I have so many questions. Yes, I was Selena's fiancé, and not just her fiancé, but the surgeon beside her deathbed.
Objection.
What?
Mr. Nickety, why didn't you tell me any of this before?
Shut it, you useless prosecutor. Thought you could be of use, but apparently this case was too much for you.
What did you say?
Oh, if your office hadn't stuck its nose all up in this, I could have swept it under the rug. Not only did you interfere with the case, but you even let me fall under suspicion.
That's because you kept trying to cover things up on the sly.
But covering things up wasn't your only involvement. The only person who had a motive to use the victim to try to kill Miss Wyatt was you. There we go. Oh, I see. He's transforming into a surgeon. Malignant tumors. It's like being a magical girl, but far less interesting. There are malignant tumors in this courtroom, lesions oozing with false charges. How come no one's made that anime where you turn from a cool robotic man into a surgeon? The tumors are one idiotic lawyer and one useless prosecutor. After the truth is revealed, I'll have both of you incised from the legal world.
I'd like to see you try.
With the power of the Sprocket family, it'd be a cinch. Wait, what's he... I'm less okay with this as we go. I will now begin the operation. What in the world happened to Mr. Nickety? Looks like he's finally showing his true colors. Nick, look what he did to that shoulder mech. But you're yapping before I suture your chatty lips shut. It's like he's a completely different person. Sure looks like it, huh? We can't let our guards down now. Mr. Nickety, it's finally time for you to testify to the truth.
It seems we're entering the final act at last. Witness your testimony, please.
Right to remain silent. It's a good testimony. Can't wait to start pressing that. Mr. Nickety, why didn't you say anything? What? Ah! He just took a picture of me. Or something. Captured your soul. Oh, he didn't actually. Oh, that's probably even worse. Oh. I mean to voluntarily testify, hoping I will make a slip of the tongue. Looks like Phoenix's spikes are actually infused into his skull. Not a very impressive plan, or brain, I might add. Ow, that was uncalled for. You want to know something? You ask the question. I will answer, but I have no intention of making any voluntary statements of my own. Ugh. What's he trying to do, Nick? He's using the silent treatment as a strategy to avoid getting tripped up. Clever guy.
No more lies, Mr. Nickety. You will tell us nothing but the truth from now on.
Oh, we get Edgeworth's x-ray.
Ugh. What do you think you're doing?
Oh. No one asked you to speak. Just keep quiet over there and play with your frills.
How dare you?
Well, this is a rather unconventional situation, but please proceed, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Wait, am I actually cross-exam... Oh. What am I supposed to do? Right to remain silent. That one. If he won't speak voluntarily, then I guess I'll have to ask him something. What question would I like to ask? Reason for killing Bloomsbury. Grudge against Soren. Actions on the day of the crime. I feel like we already kind of know these two. Tell me about actions on the day of the crime. On the day of the incident, you were constantly surrounded by your subordinates. Is that right? Absolutely. I was in someone's line of sight at all times. After all, I was busy taking care of every detail of the event. Mr. Edgeworth, I believe your investigation backs up my claim.
I got statements that said groups of his subordinates worked with him in rotation, so he was always with someone.
As the prosecutor just said, I couldn't even get close to the lantern containing Gloomsbury myself, let alone kill him. Pierce didn't have a chance to get close to the victim alone, huh?
Mr. Wright, would you like that statement added to the witness's testimony?
Well, I might as well have something there. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have that statement added to his testimony.
Very well.
Hold it!
Press that. So you were always in someone's line of sight. I was surrounded by family members and staff as we prepared for the reception. During the reception, I was stationed behind the sweetheart table to attend to the... Ooh, wait. Hold up. Where's that picture? He is! Interesting. Because look, like everyone's focused away. It's smoky. And there's the Pegable right there. Ooh, when could I have possibly committed the murder? I'm not buying it. If Pierce is the true killer, then there must have been some time when he was out of everyone's sight. Yeah, oh. What do you think, Nick? Is there a chance for us here? Well, as long as we have some kind of testimony from him, there has to be. I'll just have to compare his testimony against the evidence and find an inconsistency, right? Exactly. This is it. I have to do this right. Hold on. I want to go back. Where's the... I was always in the company of others. I didn't have an opportunity. I feel like this is a reach.
Objection!
Mr. Nickety testifies that he was always with someone at the time of the incident and never had a moment alone to commit the crime.
Yes, and the police investigation backs up that statement, doesn't it?
But there was an opportunity, in fact, one and only one. A moment when Mr. Nickety could have killed Mr. Gloomsbury without anyone noticing. What? And the one thing that made this moment possible is shown here in this photograph. With all those people watching, I couldn't have possibly committed a murder. Please do not believe him, Your Honor. This lawyer is a malignant tumor. He wants to infect this judicial body with virulent... Went too fast.
Mr. Nickety, would ask that you keep quiet this time. We need to evaluate the defense's claim, and your yammering only serves to throw further suspicion your way. Mr. Wright, let's see this one thing you mentioned, but be warned, this had better not be one of your offhanded claims.
Who do you think you're talking to, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please point out for us the one thing that made the moment of the murder possible.
That one moment when it was possible for Mr. Nickety to kill Gloomsbury. The one thing that made that single moment possible is this. Where's the thing? Oh, see, I thought I was going to get to present that. Can I present this? Well, I thought it was somewhere over here. Although I do see, is that it? No. Oh, it's got to be it, right? Because that's where it's coming down from.
Take that!
The one thing that made the moment of the murder possible is this thick mood fog that engulfed the entire reception hall. It is under the cover of this fog that Mr. Nickety murdered the victim.
What?
Mr. Nickety was standing right next to the lantern that Mr. Gloomsbury was in. This was the only moment the murder could have been committed without being seen.
Objection!
Yes.
I can accept that there was a moment when the witness was obscured from others by fog. But that doesn't prove Mr. Nickety killed the victim at that very moment. If you can't prove the crime was committed during the reception, the trial ends here.
I was so caught up in finding a foothold that I forgot to think that far ahead. Well done, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time to call this trial's time of death.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove the murder happened during the reception?
Don't even bother. His claim is dead on arrival. Ooh. Victory's within your grasp, prosecutor.
Quiet, witness. I have no interest in victory. All I care about is the truth. One that we can only arrive at through further deliberation.
Edgeworth. Enough of this, Your Honor. This trial is over.
No, Mr. Nickety, that is for me to decide. Mr. Wright, can you prove it? Can you prove that the murder was committed during the wedding reception?
Why is there no verdict yet? The lawyer's obviously out of answers. The prosecutor, the judge, they're all infected. Malignant stupidity is so advanced not even the best surgeons can save them. In fact, not even a brain transplant could cure them. This court is infected with idiocy. It is a pandemic.
Objection!
Mr. Nickety, that's enough already. Finally ready to give up, are you? No, just the opposite, actually. I'll prove the murder was committed during the reception. By you. You'll prove it.
Can you really, Mr. Wright?
Yes, I can, Your Honor. To be honest, I don't know exactly how I'll do it just yet. But if I want to get to the truth Edgeworth was talking about, I'll just have to find that way.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Let's have your proof.
Enough of this foolishness. He's just bluffing. Stop him from speaking, Your Honor.
I will do nothing of the sort.
I'm just a district court judge. The power of the Sprocket family,
Enough of your foolishness, Mr. Nickety. The judicial body will not succumb to the influence of money or power.
Again.
Now then, let's hear it, Mr. Wright. Let's hear your truth.
Think, Phoenix. Remember everything you've learned so far. You can do this. You can find the definitive evidence that will lead us to the truth. Oh, okay. Oh, we're doing this. Think, Phoenix. How can I prove the murder took place during the wedding reception? If Pierce committed the murder during the reception, then he had to have used... Not that. The murder weapon? If he committed the murder, then he would have used the murder weapon. That is true. I don't think his shoulder mech factored into it. Okay. He used the murder weapon to murder someone. Yes, the weapon that was used to strike the victim twice. According to the autopsy report, the victim was hit by the same object both times, so without a doubt, Pierce used it to commit the murder. It was right there. The weapon used to kill Bloomsbury was the timekeeper. Yes. The timekeeper was the murder weapon. If Pierce struck the victim during that one single moment, then he must have used the timekeeper. Come to think of it, wasn't it also used for something else during the reception? During the reception, the timekeeper was used for the cutting of the time machine. The first taste of love. Oh, it's one of these. I think it was startup. Because I had a little key thing, right? Clock with the secret mechanism. Yeah, there we go. Heart-shaped key used to activate. You don't happen to remember what that was called? All right, fine. We'll go with startup. I don't think it was taste. All right, got that. Timekeeper had been activated. That's right, the timekeeper had been activated during the reception. If we activate the timekeeper again now and find any trace evidence of the murder, that would be conclusive proof that Bloomsbury was killed during the reception. A special ceremony took place during the reception in question.
What kind of special ceremony?
It was called the First Startup of Love. Apparently, the couple activated the timekeeper for the first time during it.
Does that mean the timekeeper here in evidence isn't activated at the moment? What would happen if we were to activate it?
Why don't we see for ourselves? It would give us a chance to examine it, and while we're at it, we just might find some conclusive evidence.
What?
No, you can't activate it.
Mr. Niggity, keep quiet or I'll have you thrown out of court. By the way, Mr. Wright, this is supposed to be a time machine, right? We aren't going to travel back in time to the Stone Age or anything, are we?
That'd be one way to keep this going. I don't think we have to worry too much about that, Your Honor.
I'm still a little nervous nonetheless, but the truth must be known. Very well, go ahead and start up the timekeeper.
Do you know how, Nick? I think so. Maybe. Bride and groom each had a symbol of their love, and when they put them together... Oh, how romantic it was. Oh, okay, wait. Let's see. I think the symbol of the groom's love must be the timekeeper itself. What symbol of the bride's love would fit together with the timekeeper? Oh, I know. That has to be it.
Mr. Wright, are you ready to activate the time machine now?
Yes, Your Honor. The symbol of the bride's love that's necessary for activating the timekeeper is that.
Take that!
Miss Wyatt's pendant is the symbol of the bride's love that's necessary for activating the timekeeper. I thought it was that in the little key, but I guess not.
What? Then does that mean you can start it up with Miss Wyatt's pendant?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Very well, please try it now, Mr. Wright.
Okay, here I go. But first, I have to figure out where the pendant goes. Oh, geez. See, I saw this on this side, so I thought right here. Oh wait, no. Examine. This hole looks like a good spot. I'll try setting the pendant in here. Yeah, because I'll turn the other one. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It fits. This must be the right spot. Now I have to find a place to insert the key. That wasn't part of the deal. Oh, it doesn't help. I was like, well, it's letting me do things there. I would have assumed the back or the bottom. Oh, you know what I could also see it being? Hey. There we go. I wish I could zoom in a little closer. I could see it being like, it looks like there's like a gap in the middle there. I just can't really get a good feel for the shape. This hole in the middle of the pendant. Could this be it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Dang. Oh, we're going back in time. Oh, man. Larry is right. We're going to see pterodactyls. Wait, what? Whoa. It worked. The timekeeper's been activated. Now all I have to do is find proof that the crime was committed during the reception. Well, I mean, there's, definitely, some blood. Is that it? Does the time still keep going, I wonder? I'm gonna go with the bloodstain. I think I found it. Conclusive evidence that the murder was committed during the wedding reception. Just as I suspected, there's evidence of the murder inside the timekeeper, Mr. Nickety. The timekeeper was only activated and opened during the wedding reception, right? Oh, okay. I mean, I just saw blood and I was like, well, obviously. No, stop. So that means this is conclusive proof that the crime was committed during the reception. Ugh. After you killed the victim under the cover of fog, you closed the timekeeper to hide the bloodstain, didn't you? Obvious that it was in the state when it was used on the victim. Okay. No, you're wrong. Ellen killed Bloomsbury. It wasn't me, I tell you.
Give it up, Mr. Nickety. How could the defendant who was in the middle of pledging her love have possibly committed the murder with everyone watching her?
It was the family. Yes, all the family members conspired together to kill him. There's no way you can talk your way out of this, Mr. Nickety. During the reception, during that one dreamlike moment, only one person could have used the timekeeper to beat the victim to death. And that one person was you, Pierce Nickety. Nah. No, this isn't over yet. I won't give up. Oh no, I cut the artery. This stupid thing. I'm gonna stop the bleeding now. Give me forceps. Forceps, I said. Hey, where is everyone? Fine, I'll manage this alone. I'll do it all by myself. I can fix anything, repair anything. So you have to get better. You have to live. You must. I would have been able to save her. If only I hadn't listened to her. If only I treated her first. If only that Soren hadn't been there. Selena. No.
Witness, are you finally ready to tell us the truth?
It's just as the lawyer deduced. So it was all a revenge scheme against Soren Sprocket. You have any idea how hard it is to lose someone you love right in front of you? Selena's condition was clearly more critical than Soren's, but in spite of that, she said, "Please help Soren." Miss Sprocket's last words, so that's what she really meant by those words. I was able to grant her wish, but at the price of her life. So you got a job with Sprocket Aviation and waited for your chance to get revenge. You got close to Mr. Gloomsbury and hatched this plot, is that right? Gloomsbury already bore a grudge against Soren, so when I tempted him with an even better position, he immediately took the bait.
He was your accomplice, someone who shared the same goal as you. Why was it necessary for you to kill him?
I didn't expect Soren to strike Gloomsbury out of the Vista deck, and I certainly never imagined he'd make his way there along the outside wall. Soren's love is the real deal after all. My plan had been compromised, so for the time being, I hid his body in the lantern, and tried to think of my next move. And then Mr. Gloomsbury came to during the second wedding reception. As soon as I saw Gloomsbury, I instantly hit upon an idea, to pin the blame of Gloomsbury's murder on Ellen.
You tried to break up the couple by making the bride out to be a murderer. How despicable.
Soren was getting the company and a wedding, both things that were supposed to be Selena's. He took every happiness from her. Who's the despicable one here?
Do you think what you did would make her happy?
I know it wouldn't, but I couldn't just stand by, watching Soren enjoy his happiness. I was going to have Soren taste the same pain I had, and then take over Sprocket Aviation. I would have taken back from him all of the happiness that was rightfully Selena's. Although he kind of would have forgotten it all. Never mind. I mean, unless he wrote it down. Time stopped for me the day I lost her, just like this pocket watch of hers. Pierce. Miss Wyatt. I believe Selena would have said, "Leave the Silwell behind. Your time is yours to live." It's too late for me. Time will never advance for me ever again. What? It can't be. I see now, Selena. What I did was wrong. Obviously.
I see no further need to continue this trial. Bailiff, please take Mr. Nickety away.
Pierce Nickety, another inconsolable time traveler who lived in a time that stood still.
Now then, I must render my verdict regarding the defendant.
Your Honor, before you give your ruling, would you please allow me a moment?
Very well.
Ellen, there's something I need to say to you. Yes, Soren. I've put you through something truly horrible. This whole thing happened, all because of me. I would understand if you wanted to call off our marriage. Ooh, what? Of course not. I never once thought of that. You stay with me. You'll only face even more trying times in the future. Ooh, what do you mean? Due to this incident, the car accident before it, I'm going to tell the public everything. I expect the company's reputation will suffer, and I'll take a lot of criticism. But I feel I can only really start over once I get everything out in the open. Soren. After all that's happened, I might not have the right to ask you this, but, well, how should I say this? Maybe I'll just... Are you sending a paper airplane? Come on. Life with me probably won't be very easy, but... Will you marry me? Yes, of course. Your Honor, thank you for this time. Please continue with your ruling.
Very well, but first I have one question. Do the two of you pledge your eternal love for each other to the goddess of justice, Themis?
I do, Your Honor. I do.
Does the prosecution or the defense have any objections?
Well done, Your Honor. No objections here.
The defense has no objections either, Your Honor.
This court finds the defendant Ellen Wyatt. That's not right. This court finds the defendant Ellen Sprocket.
We won.
This court is adjourned.
Alan, Soren, congratulations. Mr. Wright, I can't thank you enough. If you hadn't exposed the truth, Soren and I wouldn't... But now you can finally start your new life together, right? Oh, thank you. Mr. Wright, we'll be holding our real wedding ceremony in the near future. Would you do us the honor of coming to it? I want you to witness our fresh start. Of course! I wouldn't miss it for the world. And Alan, this time, it'll finally be happily ever after, right? Oh, yes. The two of you have persevered and overcome this trial together. Now, no matter what obstacles come your way, I'm sure you'll be able to handle them. And there's another thing I'm sure of, too. This person will always be watching over the two of you. It's persnickety. Where's my... Oh, I don't have proof. Oh,
Take that!
you. Lena, yes, I think you're right. We promised to live life to the fullest, for Selena's sake, too. Right, Soren? That's right. Well, we'd better be on our way. Yes, my love. Wow, the old threshold carry, huh? Way to show off. We'll be seeing you. Goodbye for now. I'll be looking forward to that wedding. Hold on tight, Alan. You better believe I will. I'm never letting you go. Wait, we just helped someone with money. Does that mean that our law firm is no longer on the chopping block? There they go. You're not thinking of going to that wedding by yourself, are you, boss? You're taking us too, right? Oh boy, I bet there's gonna be all kinds of fancy food there. Athena, when did you get here? Just now. I would have been here to cheer you guys on earlier, but Trissy never gave me a chance to slip away. You're gonna be in even bigger trouble with her later. Speaking of the wedding, maybe I should ask them to invite Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Really? But he thought Alan was guilty all the way to the end. It may be true, but... His claim is dead on arrival. Victory's within your grasp. Yep, all I care about is the truth. Yeah. Uh-oh. If he hadn't stood up for us when he did, the trial probably would have ended there. You mean Mr. Edgeworth gave us that chance? Maybe. But knowing him, I doubt he'd ever tell, even if I asked. Well, if that's how you feel about it, Nick, then why not try to get him invited? Hey, Maya. Have you ever tried to catch the bouquet? What? No. I never have either. Fighting over a bouquet that's been tossed by the bride, talk about fierce competition. I'm totally stoked. I'm not sure it's really supposed to be all that competitive. I'm a pretty good jumper, so I think I've got a chance. She's definitely missing the point of the whole thing. And Larry, how did you manage to stay so quiet for so long? Shut up! Wishing the lady you fell in love with every happiness is what real man does. I'm pretty sure that relationship was over before it even began, Larry. Darn it all. If only I was 10 years younger, things would have gone differently. Hands of time, why won't you turn back for me? Today is Ellen and Soren's third wedding ceremony and reception. I mean, I know that happens sometimes, but usually it's not the same two people. I heard the bride and groom insisted it be on the Flying Chapel again. In the end, they were nice enough to invite me and Maya, and Athena kind of invited herself. They also invited Edgeworth, Emma, and even Larry. They say third time's the charm, right? I really do hope it's happily ever after for them this time around. Still, I get the feeling it's going to be one rowdy party. They invited Larry. That was a mistake.
Ready when you are. Okay, here we go! Huh?
Oh my god, did Larry get it?
Oh, hey! Look who's next! Huh?
Athena's dress looks so good.
Haven't you ever heard of ladies'
I'm truly blessed to have you.
Aww. Alright, that was all of Spirit of Justice. Oh, that was a nice picture. Special bonus in the music and background setting screen. Oh. Alright, I mean, kind of goes along with how I felt about the rest of the cases, in that it was really, really good. I loved it. That was, I mean, especially to be able to play it for I guess not free, but you know, it was included with the game instead of having to buy it separately. But even still, I don't know what they charged for it at the time, but like that seemed like a good trial, and I think that probably would have been worth it, even as actual DLC. I mean, the game as a whole was great. The trials, I thought, all like stood up really, like they're all kind of up there for me in terms of the whole series, like every single one of these. And yeah, the DLC one was really good. A lot of good characters. I kind of liked the return to form of like, hey, we've got Phoenix and Maya and Larry and Edgeworth. I thought that was really cool. Like a really nice touch getting all of those together. I hadn't exactly planned on finishing this, so I know, or today anyway, Edgeworth episodes have started to go up already, so hopefully if you haven't seen that, consider checking that out. If you have, thank you, and I hope you're enjoying those. I'm gonna actually go record a few more of those. Normally, I had been kind of alternating Ace Attorney and Professor Layton games. Because Edgeworth came out, right now I figured it was a good time to play it. I've been really wanting to play that for a while, so we're going to do Edgeworth. Then I'll probably do a Professor Layton game, and then I kind of want to do the Ace Attorney Layton crossover. Probably have to emulate it, because I just don't have a good way to do 3DS on, like, to record it, to capture it. I tried like over the internet capture, and it wasn't very good. So probably have to emulate it. Hopefully that won't be a big deal. I know, like with Layton especially, that's a little difficult to do, but we'll see. Let me know if there's anything else Ace Attorney that I'm missing, because I swear I just have the Edgeworth game and then I'm out, and I don't want to be out. So let me know if I missed any, because I know there's Layton, the Ace Attorney Professor Layton game, and then after that I think that's it. That makes me very sad. It's been really fun to like just get to play these games kind of back to back to back. So I will be very sad when that's all over. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now. I hope that you've enjoyed this series. I had a great time playing this game, obviously. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.